Hello everybody, this is Japhet from the Art of Trading. We're going to be looking at the trending stocks today objectively and see where price action takes us. We're also going to be looking at our index, but before we get into that, don't forget to check the description or the comment below for the timestamps into the companies that we look at for today. So let's look at our index first. For today, our index moved a positive 83.99 points, or about 1.29% up. So there was a net foreign selling today, so a lot more investors took out money, but this isn't too big for today, and we see our candle moving up positively even with the negative net foreign. So that's good. We closed at 65.81 points, and that is right into our level of support before that we were looking to hold. It did have a consolidation right here, reacted there, broke down, had a reaction here at the bottom, and then now it's trying to break back in if it does break and stay above here. So it could stay here in this range for a while and potentially go sideways, or it could be rejected, right here, pull back down here and retest the support level before bouncing back up. So that's this move on the upside is a good move for our index, and I'm seeing this huge candle 4 days straight now of an upward trend, an upward movement. So tomorrow we might see a little bit of a pullback for all of our stocks, our trending stocks and everything. But yeah, definitely going to be retesting this level of resistance prior to it was a prior support zone, but now it became a resistance as it broke down below that. But it could easily close above here as well. So good move today for our index in the last 3 or 4 days now. So let's look at our first trending stock, which is BSC, which moved about almost 25% today. So it moved and closed at 0.91 today with a lot of net foreign buyers with this huge candle too. So this is looking like our PSE trying to break the support, turn resistance, and then now we're looking for our candle, our next daily candle, to be closing above this zone right here. So we shall see what it does, but for now, this huge push on the upside, let me change my color right there. So this huge push on the upside, we could be seeing this downtrend line broken. We could be seeing it broken and possibly have a new level of support to be built somewhere around here and testing our 1 peso level once again. So we shall see if this will continue its uptrend, but I heard there were disclosures on this one and the company was making moves. So yeah, positive outlook for today. The traders took it positively, and it did a huge move on the upside for BSC, and we see that reflect on our price action. So people believed in this one, and you see it piercing through our level of resistance. It was a support level before right here, broke down, and then found a level to bounce at right here before closing again, gapping. There was a gap right here at 73 to 77.77, and then we broke above and closed at 0.91. So I'm expecting this level to hold as a support again, the 0.8 to 0.85. I'm hoping for it to potentially pull back right here and create a level of support and maybe a new range before rallying on the upside. Because if this gaps up tomorrow and pierces through the 1.02 level, there could be massive sell-offs once again, and we could see a bigger pullback on this one. So let's watch and see what it does tomorrow. But that's it for BSC. Great, huge move for today. So up next we have Dito, always on the trending stocks, and we're going to be looking at it as it closed on 10.36 pesos or 5.71% up, with a lot of net foreign buyers for today. So the chart finally loaded, and we are still holding this range for the past couple weeks now. So it's just been ranging right here and maintaining this move on the upside, and it is definitely getting closer to that downward trend line, and it's gonna test it soon by breaking it sideways. So it's not like BSC with momentum, but nonetheless this downward trend line is gonna be tested, and hopefully it gets broken and we could see a change in direction of this stock. So from a downward bias, hopefully we get to see this on a sideways, and then hopefully on an upward momentum really soon. So stay patient with this one, and just watch out for the movements that it is doing. But good close, 5.71% for today, with a lot of net foreign on Dito. So up next we have PHA, another exciting stock that had almost 10% today of gain, closing in at 2.23 pesos per share. Moved about 0.20, and we did see it close with a huge candle as well. So it is wanting to retest that 2.30 level, and it is wanting to retest that downward trend line, and I think 2.30 is a perfect spot for it to retest that downward trend line right here. So it definitely was consolidating as well in this area right here, and that has allowed it to stop the bleeding or the downward movement, and we do see this huge candle right here on the upside, potentially signaling a break on the upside right here, as our traders were pouring in towards the end of the day earlier. So I was watching this live, and it went from 2.03, settled a little bit around, I believe it was around 2.1 area. So it settled here for a little bit, for a while, a couple hours or an hour plus, before rallying towards the end of the day. So that's a good sign. Towards the end of the day, people jumped in, and we could potentially see a good move again on the upside tomorrow, expecting it to potentially settle right around right here on our 2.3 level. That's what we're watching for, it to pull back on. So up next we have Abacor. Abacor closed at 1.21 with an even 10% for today and a lot of net foreign. This too broke above our resistance right here. So this downward trend line was tested once, twice, 3 times now, and it broke it finally today with that huge move on the upside. So we could see this potentially settling back into this support zone as it moved upward huge. So we could finally see the 1.15 hold up once again as it broke above this resistance level right around here. So there was a resistance at around 1.1, 1.08 price point. So that's a good, I'll just put it at an even 1.01 right there. So let's just say 1.1 was a resistance, and this huge candle moved on the upside pretty huge and then broke back into this key level of support. So this was a resistance before this 1.15, and then now it's piercing it and hopefully settling back in here after being rejected on this level, the 0.90 to 0.96 level. So hopefully this continues its move on the upside and settles right around this zone, the 1.15 to 1.20. So hopefully it does hold that level up, as we found a level of support at 0.97 or 1 peso right here. Let me just move this a little bit, be more clear with it. So we haven't looked at this in a while. I'd put our support zone before at 0.95 to 1. So 0.95 to 1 peso level was a great level of support back then, where we see a huge reaction from. So now we're breaking back into another level of support, turned resistance, and now hopefully a support again at 1.15 to 1.2. So great area to watch, great area for a pullback right here. So we shall wait and see what it does, but great movement today. 10% move. A lot of people probably gonna take profits really soon, as they were the ones who bought around here at 0.95 levels. So they took the chance, and a lot of people are gonna be taking profits right around maybe in the next few days. So we shall see what happens, but do be careful with this one. So up next we have DDMPR. So DDMP REIT. So what did we see today? Today on our hourly time frame, let's just stick to hourly time frame because we don't have much data. So we had our support level right around here, the 2.24, 2.26. So now it's within that, but the pressure is still on the sellers right here. So we can see this now, you know, a less steep kind of slope, which is more realistic. We can still see the bias on the sellers. Not enough people wanting to buy it at the IPO price, and it closed below the IPO price at 2.24 and negative 0.44% with a lot of negative net foreign right here for this one. So this is tough. Although in our bid and ask, if you notice, there was 545 million shares waiting at 2.24, so no one is selling at around that price, and we shall see what it does. But for now, definitely ended on a negative today. Not so much, but still negative for DDMPR. So another move, another one that kind of moved okay-ish was APL. So let's look at what it did for today. Definitely looking at this as a resistance now. So this area at 2350 is now our resistance, and our support level, it's trying to hold on to that in the 1960 to 2050 zone. So it's the candlestick is within that level of support, so we could see a reaction really soon with this downward trend line right here that we have. We will potentially see a level, we would definitely see a reaction from there. So hopefully it doesn't get, you know, pushed downward too much. If not a lot of people are interested on this one, we could see a rejection on this trend line tomorrow, or we could see it break a little bit above right here and hopefully settle around this zone, the 1960 to 2050 zone. So I'm hoping for the positive side. I'm hoping for the positive move to happen, but if it, you know, decides to go down, then so be it, and we will be adapting a new perspective on it. So let's see what it does. Definitely tough to move this stock on the upside, and it did not move too much today. So there were quite a few trades at 2.5k, but we didn't move too much, only gaining about 1% and closing in at 0.2010, but that's it. So not so much movement for APL. Let's look at SCC for the next stock. SCC did something huge, I think, today. Yeah. So wow, we haven't looked this stock in a while. It's the old charting tools that I was using. And let's see what the story is for SCC. So I think this had a disclosure or a dividend thing related, I think, today. So we do see this huge candle pushing above our downward trend line right here. So if we connect these two spots, some might say this is the actual downward trend line that I tried to break. Either way, connect the points, more the better. But the overall point for this one is that we broke. Let me just keep this one because we had once, twice, and then it's closer right here. Yeah, let's just do this one more realistic. So the downward trend line was broken above, and we broke this resistance as well. There was a resistance at 12.98, I would say, or let's just say 13. Let's just do 13 peso to round it up. So let's say there was a resistance at 13, broke above that, and we found some level of support right here. Support at this area where we saw a huge response. So there was definitely a support level right here at 1177 to 1206. So 11, nope, I don't need to change the interval. 11.77 to 12.06. So definitely a huge support level right there, as we saw massive moves right here, moving upward from there, and also right now another test moving upward from here. So this range is a very key range for SCC, and now it's breaking above 13 pesos, closing in at 13.32, or up 11% with a lot of net foreign positive. So with this move on the upside, we are hoping for a pullback around the 13 peso area. So if we do see a pullback there and it settles right around that price point, as we see this candle push down, yeah, we might be seeing a pullback, and hopefully it settles around this area, the 13 peso range. So hopefully it does build a level of support there as it broke above, breaking this downward trend line, and hopefully settling above this zone right here with this move. So one big push on the upside and then pull back, and then hopefully we could get a continuation from there. So that's SCC. ACEN, we're going to be looking at this one up next. So ACEN closed at a positive 0.58%, or 6.96 pesos. It's still maintaining this. Let me just remove this, clean our chart a little bit. So yeah, it's still holding this upward trend line, and we could see either a breakdown or a break above for this, but with this weakened, because we're seeing like a slight downward momentum right here. So we're creating lower highs but creating higher lows as well. So this is a symmetrical triangle with an indecision, and it could either go two ways. So it could break above, or could also break down below and retest these levels. So we shall see what it does, but definitely there is a level of support right there. And let's 6.45 to 6.6. Let me just adjust that. 6.45 to 6.60. So that was a good level of support where it responded once, twice, and then the third time now here on the trend line. So it's still undecided. The candlesticks are getting smaller and smaller, so we might see a push either on the downside or on the upside one way or another really soon. So we shall watch and see. Watch and see for ACEN. So don't be how do you call this? Let's not be too quick on this as it is still undecided, but if you want to accumulate on this area, totally fine. And this trend line is holding, and we have this untested support right here. So remember, one of the better areas to get into it is right here on the support zone, or if this trend line actually does hold and we see a break above for ACEN. So lastly, we're gonna look at which closed at 5.02, sorry, and a positive 2.24% for today. So it's still holding this level of range right here, moving sideways, and we are maintaining this level of support. So yeah, it's just moving sideways for now, definitely undecided, but we are nearing this test of the downward trend line right here. So we could be looking a break on this on the sideways, and more people might be interested in this one as we approach the end of this downward trend line. Hopefully positive movements on this one, and we shall see what it does. But yeah, accumulation zone right here as it keeps its sideways momentum. So that's it for the daily top 10. Let's go back to our index with PSE doing a great move today. So I think the confidence and the traders are back. I think more people were jumping in today. It felt like it, at least with the people I know, with the people that are that I'm connected with and that I'm helping. So yeah, great move for PSEI today as a whole. So yeah, that's it for me for today. Thank you for watching and making it through this entire video. And if you found something useful with it, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this one and share it to whoever might need this video. So that's it for me. Stay patient, be disciplined, and strive to be consistent as always with your trading, and I'll see you guys on the next one.